Hello, and welcome back to the Coupe de Villa channel. I'm Scott Cooper, and I'm here with Noah Fisher, and we are here to preview Aston Villa versus Wolves for tomorrow, and we're going to wrap up the international break. Yep, we're live again. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Get your questions in. This is going to be a bit of a relaxed one. Unfortunately, Tommy's not here today, but you can talk to me and Noah. Get your questions in and all your comments, and we will be wrapping up all of the international break and much more after this. Okay, so welcome back to another live edition of Coupe de Villa. Please make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm Scott Cooper. This is Noah Fisher, and we are Villa fans from down under. If you haven't joined us before, and for all of you out there that have been with us on this journey for the last 3 years or so, welcome back. And Noah, well, thank God international break is over because, look, it drags on a bit, doesn't it? Let's be honest. But there's plenty to talk about from that. First of all, the Villa players that are featured for England. Let's go over that first because England had a 1-0 defeat to Brazil on last Saturday and then 2-2 with Belgium. The Brazil game first, and I think the big story from a Villa point of view just is the disrespect going around by the pundits and the media for Ollie Watkins since that Brazil game, and just this race that him and Ivan Toney seem to be in. And it just seems to me that all the sort of media outlets and the pundits out there are just, one game that Ollie doesn't really do a lot. But to be fair, it wasn't really his fault. England didn't play well in that game, didn't create a lot. And now he's terrible and shouldn't be going to Germany. It's unbelievable, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a massive turn of events, Scott. Also, happy Easter for those who do celebrate it.
Of course, happy Easter.
Friday evening here in Melbourne, and obviously same with you, Scott, in Perth. But yeah, geez, it does drag on the international break. It feels like it goes on for months and months and months, kind of like the off season. And Villa had a fair few people go away, more than I kind of thought at the time. When you go through it all, there's a fair few people like Joe Gauchi went away, Robin Olsen, Matty Cash, Tielemans, Douglas Luiz. That's a fairly impressive list. Seemingly when we got back promoted to the Premier League, there might have been, 2 or 3? They might have gone away.
Yeah.
Grealish wasn't going away, and then Mings might have been the first one. So the list has grown, and it's great we have a couple of people in the England squad, because I think it's well-deserved from both Watkins and especially Ezri finally getting his first cap, which is very proud, because for so long on this podcast, I've been saying how he deserves to be an England international. And yeah, he's finally got that opportunity. Came on, after 10 minutes for Kyle Walker, and he played very well, defending probably one of the best wingers in the world at the moment in Vinicius Jr.
Yeah, he was outstanding and definitely a positive for England and for Villa to see Konsa, back to his best up against someone like Vinicius Jr. But what did you think about the criticism of Ollie in that game? I mean, it's like all of a sudden you got people like Troy Deeney coming out and saying he's a winger trying to be a striker. You've got everyone's basically saying that they would rather pick Toney than Watkins, and this is a guy who's been out for 8 months or something with that betting scandal, and he hasn't he scored a few goals since he's come back, but I mean, he's not in the sort of form that Ollie Watkins is, and I really hope that Watkins can just finish the season banging them in from everywhere, just as, like a big two fingers FU to these guys that just seem to constantly write him off.
Yeah, well, Troy Denny was a hooligan intimidating a striker, so I don't know much to say about him. I'm not sure how many England caps he got, but like, I know he scored against Villa a lot, and I know he was decent at what he did. He was a tough bastard, and we love to hate him as well, I guess you could say, because look, he was good for Watford, and, he went to Birmingham, but God, he likes to chat shit about Villa players, no matter who it is. I don't care what anyone says. Watkins is going. The Watkins is a completely different striker. I mean, he's completely evolved his game over recent years. Well, he's got 16 goals and 10 assists this season in the Premier League. Like, it's absurd numbers, and someone to back up Kane, that's kind of what you want. I know Tony loves a penalty and can score a penalty, gets given penalties, whatever. That's whatever it is. And Watkins just offers England something they don't have. I know they take 7 right backs and play them all at centre back. Well, Watkins can play either wing and up front. I'm just saying, just in case you need it. And he's deadly. He's absolutely improved his game, and it'd be.
And he's got a bit of pace, that's something that Kane and Tony to a lesser degree don't have. Something a bit different. And I think Peter Crouch was the only sort of pundit I heard actually say that he would take Watkins because he's a bit different to Kane, and he gives you something different, and you can probably play him and Kane together if you 100%. Were going for the game, if you needed a goal in a knockout match. So I mean, look, it just shows you how fickle football is and how punditry is, and opinions on social media and this sort of thing, because it is terrible. And I agree with Michael's great comment here. The Villa disrespect is terrible. It's terrible in terms of every time we lose a match, we're going to fall away, we're going to miss top 4. It was, we're just riding a wave, and it was a blip, and you can't continue this form. And Ollie Watkins, I think, is very similar in the way he's spoken about. It's very much, when he's good, they give him credit, but they seem to really just want to knock him down when he has a bad game. And I don't actually think he played that badly. I think him and Anthony Gordon had a few good moments in that Brazil match.
The service to Watkins in that Brazil game was absolutely horrific. Chilwell's kicking him into row Z. Like, what's he going to do?
Exactly.
What is Watkins meant to do with half that service? And it's just, look, it is what it is. International break's over. Let the boys do the talking on the field now. But
let's talk about Ezri, because he was fantastic in that game. Absolutely. And it's just so good to see him not only defend well, which you can all see, but he was so good on the ball. At one point, he did like a pirouette, little spin.
I saw that.
It was amazing. And for someone on their debut to come up against Vinicius Jr. and Rodrigo and these kind of guys, and be so confident and calm, just shows you how far he's come since he signed from Brentford back. Way back when Dean Smith signed him.
2019. And I really do agree with what Marine Boy said here. He's got to be one of our most important players. And I don't think there's a Premier League side he doesn't really get a game in. He's just such a Rolls-Royce defender. He can do it all. And it's just great to see.
Yeah, well, Tommy is out on the booze, Scotty UK. You are right. It's Good Friday, and he's having a good Friday. He was going to drop in, but he's decided to stay out. And
he's having a good time on Good Friday, so we'll let him be. Let him off for this time.
He'll be back next week when we review the Wolves match. So don't worry about that. I know Felicity, if you're watching, you must be devastated after last week, but don't worry, Tommy will be back. He hasn't left us for that long. So it's just me and Noah today. You got the two ugly ones, all right? So
I know. So unlucky. So unlucky.
So that was that match. England lost. And then they went into the Belgium match. That was 2-2, and that was a far different match. And Konsa again played well, but for Belgium, Yuri Tillemans with 2 unbelievable goals. And a lovely left foot finish when Pickford made the mistake, and then the diving header. Wow, I'd love to see him pull out something like that tomorrow against Wolves.
Yeah, I mean, he loves a Wembley banger. I think it was for Leicester in the FA Cup final. He scored an absolute worldie for them. So he loves a good goal. Yuri Tielemans, he's a great player. He's come into his own of recent weeks. And how good is it to see him playing like this? You know, with absolute confidence in his game and playing well for Belgium and for Aston Villa. It's really good.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, you know, I think he's a guy that's going to be super important for us, especially with McGinn suspended for these next two matches. You know, or next. Yeah, it's only two more. He comes back for the Brentford game.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So, look, yeah, we're going to need him, and like it's good to see him in form and firing. Another guy who had a bit of a mixed international break was Matty Cash. He obviously got injured, pulled his hamstring, which is not good for Villa, but his Polish side did make it through on penalties to Wales. So there was the clip of him watching from home. You know, when the penalty shootout against Wales, when Poland came out triumphant, and he will be going to the Euros. So, you know, congratulations, Matty Cash. But I hope your injury is not too bad because we're going to need
3 weeks, I heard. 3 weeks.
Okay. Yeah, well, that doesn't sound too bad for a hammy. Hopefully it was just a precaution, you know, maybe a slight pull, not a full tear. So
exactly that.
Luckily we've got, you know, Consa back now. We've got Pau Torres back. We've got, you know, Longley, Diego Carlos. So we should be all right. And, you know, I'm sure we can fill the void while Matty Cash is missing. But that's the only injury I think that we got in the international break.
Yeah, that's all I can think of, just Matty Cash. And obviously Jacob Ramsey's back in training as of the social media post yesterday. So that's another big one that, you know, we really need to get back into the swing of things.
Huge. I mean, I keep thinking about his form at the end of last season, and if he could find that again and go to that sort of next level, he's so important for us, and looking forward to seeing him back out there. Owen, watching again, good to see Owen, and we need a big result tomorrow. We need to get back onto winning ways, and
Villa Park is going to be bouncing.
Yeah, especially with Man City coming up next week as well. That's going to be a tough one. So we want to be going into that game with 3 points under our belt, and
absolutely,
you know, absolutely firing. So I think Villa Park's going to be bouncing tomorrow night. Wolves are a good team, certainly not a gimme. They're having a good season. Gary O'Neill's doing a good job there.
Fantastic job there. Very underrated, I think, the job he's done there, Scott. And obviously, I think if was he at Bournemouth before that? Gary O'Neill did a decent job there.
He was, they fired him, which was really unfair because he did really well there, and they fired him, and you know, Wolves saw the opportunity to snap him up, and I think they've
great decision.
Yeah, he's done well, and you know, we seem to have a difficult sort of recent history against them. You know, we've had some devastating losses. There was that one where we lost 3-2 and they scored all the goals in the last 10 minutes. And
Ruben Neves deflected free kick.
Yep, that was an absolute killer. I remember that one. But I was watching earlier some highlights on social media of when we beat them in the championship 4-1.
I saw that.
And Adoma, Graben, Chester and Bjarnason with the goal scorers. It just shows you how far we've come. I mean, like,
I think these guys than that. When like Robbie Keane, we won 2-1 or 3-2 that day. Robbie Keane scored
3-2, I think. Yeah, I think he got a hat trick. The one off the crossbar was quality, and I remember that one. That was a huge game.
I don't know when the last time beat them at home in the Premier League was. I'm not sure someone below might be able to inform me. We haven't beaten them at home since we've been promoted because we drew them last season, and obviously we lost to them the first season back. I think
didn't we beat them away once?
Yeah, but we might have been. We beat them away when El Ghazi scored that pen.
Yes.
But besides that, I can't think of another time we've beaten them, especially at Villa Park. And obviously championship, but Premier League.
Yeah, there was a few draws.
Yeah,
you know,
they're hard. They're hard games. They're not the. It's their big day out, the derby for them. But yeah, it's gonna be a tough game. Absolutely is.
Yeah, and yeah, they'll bring some raucous fans, and there'll be good atmosphere at Villa Park, I'm sure. And yeah, really looking forward to that game. Morgan Rogers also played for England on the 21, scored his first 2 goals against Luxembourg. So I heard a little interview with him on the BBC after that, and he seems like a really switched on, well-spoken fella. And yeah, he seems really determined to finish the season well and, try and get a spot in this team for Villa and, continue playing for the under 21s for England. And they've got a European Championship next year. So, yeah, hopefully he can stay there. And his goals for England can maybe, transform onto the pitch for Villa because he likes to have a shot. He hasn't been on the pitch that much for Villa, but when he has been, he certainly likes to, get forward and have a try, and hasn't come off yet. So maybe tomorrow's the day. Who knows?
Yeah, he loves that curling finesse finish, doesn't he? Especially for Villa. We've seen it a few times attempted. He's not far off Rogers. Obviously, I'm not sure how much of it is nerves. He's made a big step up in January, something he hasn't done before. And he's got his opportunity to play England under 21s. And he took it with both hands. And as you said, I just hope that he can take confidence from this and keep rolling for Villa. Because what he started against West Ham, did he? I think he started a Premier League game before the international break.
He started against West Ham, yeah.
And that's a big step for him, and he just needs to keep taking these steps. And I mean, I don't know how his role's going to be affected when JJ comes back. But I'm really excited to see what Rogers has for him in the future. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And Dougie Luiz, of course, played for Brazil against England. We had 3 Villa players on the pitch at one point, and
good to see.
Yeah, good to see him involved. And they seem to be a team that's had a difficult year, Brazil, but with that win against England and a good draw at Spain as well, 3-3, that was a good game. So, look, yeah, if he could get a part of that team, maybe he could, feature in the Copa Americas coming up. So, and that's the kind of thing, like, I know a lot of Villa fans will say, I don't really want our players playing international football because they can get injured. But if they're playing for their country and they can think, playing for Villa means I'm going to play for my country, then there's less chance of them, wanting to go elsewhere or look abroad or, talk to, some of their teammates and, international teammates and say, look, you got to come to this club or that club because, you're not going to get a chance if you're playing for Villa. So, I'm all for it. And, you can get injured anytime. You can get injured in training. You can, we've seen it before. So, look, I'm glad to see these guys getting the recognition they deserve.
And it's great for the club. It's great recognition for the club on how well we've done. As I said, we barely had any international players when we got promoted, and then there's a massive list of them now. We have the world's best keeper playing for Argentina, and we've come such a long way. And I'm proud when I see Villa players playing internationally, especially for England and obviously Australia when we get the occasional Socceroo playing for Aston Villa. And I just love watching them. I always keep track of the results. Obviously, when you get injured, it is unfortunate. Like Matty Cash, you'd be absolutely devastated because it's such a big run into the end of the season, and you want to be a part of it. You want to, be part of these big games and help Villa do well. And we've got some absolute massive games coming up for the next few weeks.
We do. And look, we're going to go into that in a bit. And we're going to, we've got a table predictor, and we've filled out all the results of the teams that aren't in the race for 4th place, and we've left the Villa games, the Tottenham games, and the Manchester United games open. And we're going to go through a few of those, and we're going to predict some results and see where that will, we think it might end up at the end of the season if it goes, through like we think. But just
and we'll try to be as unbiased as possible.
We'll try. You know,
we're not going to have Villa. We're not going to have Villa winning 17-0 every game.
Yeah, we'll go
as much as
Aston,
Tommy would
Aston
like.
Villa 7, Man City 0. Yeah, no, we're not going to do that. All right, but look, we're going to try and be as unbiased as possible, and we'll see how that goes. So we'll get onto that in a bit, but before we do that, we're going to just talk a bit about the Wolves game, and we're going to sort of predict some lineups and who you think is going to play, who you think is going to start. So let us know in the comments who would you start, because obviously we started the West Ham game with Watkins and Duran, and that was a bit of a surprise. And Duran, of course, comes off at halftime. Diaby came on. So what do you think, Noah? Do you think? Who do you think is going to start, and what's the formation going to look like?
Look, I think you've got to go back to your best team that's available. I did like the experiment with Duran. I thought that it's his first Premier League start. He's been around for a while. West Ham maybe taken by surprise. Unfortunately, didn't work out. But I wasn't against it. I know everyone says you got to stick to what you know, and Emery's got to do that. But sometimes it's worth surprising the opposition manager and go, hey, we're just not the same system you've been training for. But I think it'll be.
And he scored that goal against Ajax.
He did. He was looking okay.
Exactly. It wasn't like it wasn't. He didn't deserve it. He put in a good performance against Ajax. Scored a really nice goal, and it's good to see him rewarded. But I, like you, think that he'll probably go back to the bench.
Yeah.
I don't know how
ready. I my full team if you want.
Go through it.
So I'm not sure what people in the comments might agree with, but obviously Joe Gauchi in goal. No, I'm just joking. Martinez in goal. Konsa, Torres, Carlos, Digne. I'm going to go with at left back. Louise and Tielemans and JJ in the middle. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to go Watkins, Bailey, Rogers.
Interesting.
So I want JJ a little bit more central as a midfielder sort of thing.
I'm not sure JJ will be ready to start.
He's ready. He's a king. He's ready. Don't worry.
Look, if he is, I would have him in, but I think it'll be Konsa, Carlos. Actually, I think it'll be Konsa, Longley, Torres, Moreno, Douglas Luiz in the middle with Tielemans and Rogers, and I think it'll be a front three of Diaby, Bailey, and Watkins.
So you go both Diaby and Bailey starting. I like it. That's one thing I was thinking about doing as well, but I don't know. I'd love to see JJ start. I know he hasn't played in forever, but I think he's got to chuck him in.
Yeah, well, I mean, if he's fit, that's a great call there, Marine Boy. As long as we don't go with back five again, definitely not at home. I don't want to see it at home. I don't want to see it again at all, to be honest. But
no, me neither.
Yeah, and I think it'll be 4-3-3, and I think we'll go for it, and it'll be a similar approach as we saw, against Forest and Fulham, and in those games before, our last two results where he tinkered a bit more, it'd be interesting to see what he does.
Go back to the trusty, what's worked for 2 seasons, just get these results. That's all we did last year. You go back to the end of last year, we literally just needed results, and we got them.
Mm-hmm.
It's that time of year again, and we've got to get the results that we need. Go back to your trusty 4-3-3, and that's it.
That's it. And
I don't want to see 6 at the back, 5 at the back, 3 up, 2 up front, 1. Back your system, Unai, and just get these crucial results.
Yeah, and I back him to do it. I think he's, he hasn't been talking about top 4 a lot, and I heard, I think it's Luke Tomlinson, is it? Who's the guy? He was on one of the sort of overlap shows with Carragher and and Neville, right? So he does a Villa podcast. I'm sorry, I forgot his name, but his name's Luke anyway. And he was saying that.
Oh, Luke. No, not Rollinson. Is it Rollinson?
I can't remember, but he was saying that. But Emery wanted to get to 33 games played before he started talking about top four, and he said if we were in the mix then he was predicting that he was confident that we could see out those last 5 games, and so that means the next 2 games, if we can get like one win, or the next 3 games, and we can get 2 wins out of Brentford, City, and Wolves, then I think no, not Ian Wright. No. He's a Villa podcaster. I'm sure someone knows him. But look, if we can get to a spot where we're in the top 4 with 5 games to go, then he'll start talking about the top 4. So
absolutely.
Look,
yeah,
Unai's got a plan, and I back him in. And
yeah, so do I. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just going to be a really fun end to the season.
I'm excited. If you said to me, Scott, in our season predictions in August, that with 9 games to go, that we're in the Champions League spots, fighting for a Champions League spot, I'd absolutely rip your arm off and take it, because I didn't really expect us to be having a good season that we're having. I know if we drop off, it's people think about where we were. People imagine where we've come from. We are slowly building this, over time. And look, if we do miss out, which I hope we don't, I hope, we finish 4th.
Yeah.
Then it's a fantastic achievement. But I wouldn't be, throwing the toys out the cot if we did slip up. You know what I mean? I think
Luke Robinson, Marine
that's
boy.
Right, yeah.
That's the guy. Yeah. And he's very good. He spoke really well on that overlap, and I agree with him that Unai's got a plan, and he wants to get to this point, and now, kick on, and it's looking like everything is going to plan. There was always going to be a part of the season where we were going to sort of dip and have a difficult period, and I think we've had that, and I think the international break came at a good time for Villa.
Yeah, so
we could kind of reset and look at these last 7 games as like a mini season now. Similar to Dean Smith after the COVID break. Sort of reset a little bit, and we turned our form around in that year, and I think Emery can do the same, because it's really strange actually, because before we had this difficult period, we were struggling away, and at home we were unbeatable. And since this difficult period, we've been winning away games and sort of having struggling at home. So let's get this home form back on track. And
but do you think that, Scott, it's because we were so good at home that our expectations at Villa Park have become that high? Because I think we've only lost 3 games at Villa Park all year in the league.
It was pretty
good.
It was always going to sort of regress to the mean a bit. Like we weren't going to go the whole home season without defeat. We're not ready for that sort of thing yet. But and with the injuries in Europe and all that as well thrown on top of it, that was going to be like almost impossible. But if we can just pick up wins in the games we should win, and pick up a few wins away from home as well along the way, I think we'll finish in the top 4, or top 5, and top 5 is looking like it's a 80% chance it's going to be Champions League now. So let's hope that the English teams continue doing well in Europe. Let's hope that Arsenal beat Bayern. Let's hope that West Ham can pull off a win against Leverkusen. I don't see that one happening, but
that's the toughest one of the lot, that one, isn't it?
Yeah, we might not need that. I think Arsenal winning might be enough. So and then that 5th spot will be secure for an English Champions League spot. And look, we'll
you got some visitors in there, Scott.
The dogs are going off. I don't know what's happening.
They're trying to give their thoughts on the season.
Yeah, I think that they don't like the criticism given to Ollie either. You know, like they're going off at the pundits that have written him off after one game without a goal. You know, look.
Who needs Tommy when we get their rants? You know what I mean?
I know we should open up a little screen for them. So Marine Boy's saying here that Dougie is sounding close to winning. He needs 2 yellows for the next 3 games for a ban. Well, look, I'm confident that he can be mature enough and keep that in the back of his head. And look, he's not really a guy that throws in that many tackles anyway. If it was someone like McGinn or Kamara, I'd be a bit more worried, but he's more of a ball playing sort of defensive midfielder, if you like.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, yeah, maybe if he got a booking in this Wolves game, I'd start to worry.
It's a big game for this. I think he can't get a booking in this Wolves game because I think City, he needs to probably potentially tackle a little bit more. Playing at the Etihad, we beat them last time we played them. They're going to be up for it. They're fighting for a title. That's going to be a ripper game, that, by the way. I'm looking forward to it.
Massively. It will be. And of course, they've got Man City. Man City have got Arsenal on Sunday. So, you know, they're going to be coming off a tough game. So, you know, maybe they could, you know, drop a little bit in their standards. Very often, you know, after a big game, you know, you can sort of have that sort of relapse, you know, and kind of, you know, go backwards a bit if the game's not, you know, as glamorous maybe as the one before. So, you know, fingers crossed that can happen. But look, we got to sort of focus on, you know, the games like the games like Wolves, like Brentford. You know, if we win these games, then I don't think Man United can catch us. And I'm pretty confident the 5th spot will be good enough for Champions League. So that'll be good enough for us.
As much as we want the 4th spot anyway.
So should we go into the predictions? We're going to go into our table predicting now, and we're going to go through the remaining fixtures for Villa, Spurs, and Manchester United. And
so I kind of filled out all the other games with like likely results, like goals and whatever. I just did random one, so I don't want to offend any fans from the opposition. I didn't predict Luton to win every game or something like that, but we'll start with the makeup game if you want, the Chelsea-Tottenham game. Chelsea are playing good football right now. I'd love to say that Chelsea would win this. I think they have a very good chance at winning it, but I think it'd be close.
Yeah, I think 3-2 Chelsea.
Let's do that, Scott. Let's do it. Now, I'm not going to calculate it until we're done, because I want to keep it suspenseful.
Okay, so that's the makeup game.
Yeah, and if you have any thoughts on these games, guys, get them down in the comments. We'll
let us know. We can be influenced by your opinions.
Yeah. So this is just the one game from this week. It's the Sheffield United game, which obviously I think Manchester United will lose 5-0. But yeah,
I think we better put United down for a win there. Let's say a 3-0.
Let's go 3-0.
Yeah, that sounds. I don't see Sheffield United doing anything there.
No, and we have Tottenham, Luton, Villa, Wolves, Brentford, United.
Okay, so Tottenham, Luton.
I think Tottenham win that easy. Yeah, to be honest with you.
I think it'll be close. I think maybe 2-1, but I think they will win that
2-1?
one. 2-1? Yeah, why not?
I think that was going to be the same result for the Villa Wolves game, to be honest.
I'm happy with that. 2-1 Villa.
I think we're going to win that.
And I think this next one, I think this could be a draw.
That's what I was thinking as well.
Because United are coming off that big FA Cup win against Liverpool, and they don't have a great record at Brentford. I think
they
Ten
don't.
Hag lost 4-0 there, I think, one of his first ever games. So I'd say like a 2-2.
Let's do it.
1-1, maybe 2-2. Yeah,
we'll go 2-2. This one: West Ham versus Tottenham, City, Villa, Chelsea, United.
I think West Ham Tottenham's got a draw to me.
That's what I was thinking. It's going to be a good game, though.
Yeah. Maybe like another 1-1 or a 2-2.
1-1.
We'll say 1-1, yeah.
Now, Scott,
City.
I'm not sure how biased you want to be, but I think this is where we lose a game.
Yeah, I'll say 2-0. 2-0 City.
Yeah, I do think we lose that game. As much as I will predict a win when we do the podcast.
Yeah, I think we need to be fair and say that we're unlikely to get anything from that game.
That's a tough game. It really is. As much as it's the empty hat, it's still a tough place to go.
Yeah.
Chelsea
United. This is I can see a draw. Maybe like even a 0-0. Because they're both terrible.
0-0. Let's go 0-0.
They're both terrible.
Then we got Villa, Brentford, United, Liverpool, Tottenham, Forest.
Well, I think Villa will win this one quite easily. I'm going to say 3-0.
I was thinking 3-0. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. For that one. I think Liverpool win this.
I think Liverpool win this too. I'm going to
2-1?
say, yeah,
or do you
that
think
sounds
more?
2-1 sounds about right. Liverpool do sort of let in some goals, but
they do. They do.
I think I don't think they're going to want to lose there again after the FA Cup match. And
no,
they are the better team. And I think Tottenham will beat Forest probably 3-1.
3-1. Let's go 3-1.
Yeah.
And then Newcastle, Tottenham, Bournemouth, United, and Villa, Arsenal. Now, there was a comment before. I'm going to flash it up on the screen. What do you reckon about this?
Look, okay, Michael, I'll go here halfway. I'll say a draw when we get round to that one.
That's up this one, so.
Yeah, okay. Well, we got Newcastle, Tottenham first. I think Newcastle will win that game.
So do I. I think 2-1.
Okay, I'm happy with that.
St James's Park's a hard place to go. We found that out the first game of the season when people were rid us off and everything like that. So, yeah,
and I think Man United will beat Bournemouth, but I think Bournemouth
will score.
So
2-1.
maybe like a 3-2 United.
3-2. Let's go for it, Scott. Let's live a little bit, in these predictions. And what are you thinking? A 1-1 here?
1-1. Why not? We'll go with Michael. He thinks we're going to get something. He thinks we're going to win, but look.
It's again, we got a few tough games. Yeah, and we have to be respectful. We're not going to just stab him every game. We're going to do what we honestly think.
I think United will beat
Newcastle.
Tottenham 2-0.
What?
Newcastle aren't. Yeah, Newcastle aren't much away from home.
No.
I mean, even though they absolutely destroyed us, but
I think this game's a draw, by the way.
Yeah. Tottenham have a very good record against City.
They do, but I think this has a draw written all over it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I was going to go 1-1.
Okay.
And then I think we do beat Bournemouth at Villa Park. I just think
3-1.
Yeah, we don't like to keep clean sheets. I do respect that, Scott.
Okay,
another
Manchester
big
United,
game of fixtures. I think they wallop them 4-0.
Yeah, 4-0. That seems
like
that's
Burnley.
Possible.
I think we do beat Chelsea in a close game, but I'd love to get people's thoughts on this down below.
I'm going to say a draw. 2-2.
You reckon a draw? 2-2 draw?
I think Chelsea are going to be
I'll go with
better.
it. I'll go. I think they're hitting form now. I think they are hitting form now. I do agree with that.
And I also think this game
is a draw.
Yeah.
I think
it's a draw. Like you see, the problem is if we draw with Arsenal, then this game becomes even bigger for Arsenal.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So, I think maybe a draw.
Look, we're not Nostradamus.
No.
Yeah, the first thing we thought was draw.
I do have a kind of feeling that Tottenham might win that one, but I am happy to go with a draw as well.
So am I.
Yeah.
And then we got Villa against Brighton away, Palace against United, Liverpool, Tottenham. We have a great record at Brighton.
We do.
We have a great record there.
1-0 Villa.
1-0 Villa. Scott, I'll go with you there. Crystal Palace, I think they beat United 5-0 personally, but I think it'll be a 2-1 United win.
Yeah, something like that.
And I think Liverpool win this game, Scott, at Anfield.
I agree. I'm going to say 3-1.
3-1. We're into the pointy end here. Liverpool at home. I reckon we lose, Scott.
Okay. Yep. I can see that having 2-1. Like
a
last minute heartbreaker.
I hate being like this, but I'm trying to be realistic. And Villa fans, you can keep me in the comments, but I'm trying to be realistic with this because
it's a tough one to predict. But Liverpool are good, and if we lost that game, I don't think anyone here would be too unhappy. Or I mean, not they would be unhappy, but they wouldn't be too shocked.
No. I think Arsenal win this 2-1. And I think Tottenham beat Burnley 3-0 comfortably.
Okay, yep.
I'm going to calculate this, Scott, to see what's coming into the last 3 games.
Okay. We're still in 4th and clear.
That's the ladder. What do you reckon about that? Have we done that too unfair, though?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe the Arsenal draw might be
a bit biased.
Maybe beating Brighton away might be. But
then we said we're drawing with Chelsea at home.
Yeah.
But we're going to the last game.
This
one is null and void anyway, but I think it'll be a draw.
Yep. And I can see ours being a draw if we've already qualified. I could see that being a draw.
I could see Tottenham win.
Tottenham winning. And is that the final ladder?
That's it. Apparently,
71 points we're predicting.
It's and 71
points means that we finish 4th in the top.
And look at the title race. I didn't even notice this, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Look at the title race.
Liverpool win
on goal difference.
Okay.
Again, I put in some pretty shit results, I reckon. So don't trust that. But wow.
Well, so what do you guys think about this prediction? Do you think we were fair? We were unfair? Do you guys think Villa will get to 70 points? Because 70 points seems to be the magic number for top 4.
Apparently. Look, our home game is going to be crucial. We play Liverpool at home. That's a big one. Chelsea at home is a massive one. Every game at home is massive.
Yes.
Every and we'll see how it unfolds. So we're not.
Well, Kieran thinks we'll finish 4th, and I can see. I would probably predict that would be the top 4 as well. I mean, our calculations made Liverpool just pip it, but
literally by 1 goal scored and 1 goal conceded. But that's interesting, and it's going to be exciting. It's an exciting time of the year now. 9 league games to go, and how can we forget the Europa Conference League games coming up as well, which is going to be incredibly exciting as well. Lille, Gomez is out for them for both legs apparently, so he's a key player for them, and it's ridiculous, isn't it? I'm so excited and bring it all on, Scott.
Absolutely, and I think those games are going to be they're going to take it out on the players, obviously, but I think it's going to be a nice distraction in some ways, just like the Ajax games were to sort of refocus on something else. Have McGinn can play those games, get him back into sort of match fitness and match sharpness, for when he returns from his ban. So look, I'm looking forward to the next few weeks. Is going to be absolutely insane, Noah, and we're going to be covering it all here on Coupe de Villa, of course.
So excited.
We will be, starting, of course, with Wolves. We'll be doing another live show after that, maybe Monday or Tuesday. So we'll let you know when that
on social media. There'll be a post on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook when that's all happening. So chuck them all a follow and keep up to date with us. We're trying to put more content out on those platforms, and by going live, it's something we were trying to do for a while. We weren't too sure how to do it, but everyone seems to be enjoying them. So they're here to stay, I reckon, Scott. The live shows are here to stay. And you don't have to edit them and upload them, so you're pretty happy with that as well.
Well, no, it goes straight up, and look, we just got to be careful. Tommy doesn't actually, say something that gets us cancelled, but he's, he's not on tonight, so it's another free hit. We've made it through another week, but look, Tommy will be back for the next one, and we'll be coming to you Monday or Tuesday, just depending on when we're free. We've all got jobs and lives, and we're doing it from the other side of the world because there's
as much
time
as we love it, but
yeah,
stuff gets in the way, and sometimes there might be one game a year we aren't able to cover. I think it was Newcastle this year that we just honestly all had no time to do it, and yeah, we absolutely love doing it, and so, we'll never stop. I don't reckon, that's for sure.
No, we're going to keep going, and hopefully Villa keep going. So please leave us a like, leave us a subscribe if you haven't done that already, and put in the comments any questions for us about Villa, about us, our personal lives or anything. We'll answer anything.
Get
Tommy,
involved.
if there's any more secret admirers for Tommy, please let him know. Have a really happy Easter. Up the Villa, and come on. Let's have Villa Park rocking tomorrow and get 3 points against Wolves. Up the Villa. Noah, it's been a pleasure as always. And we'll see you next week.
See you later.
Up the Villa.